Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo, and I'm here with a special sort of late night recording before Alan, my special guest here, flies off to be the superstar that he is all over multiple continents. I don't even know where you're going. We can talk about that later. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this video if you like it. Or if you don't like it, share it and tell people why you don't like it. Just share it. Right?
There you go. Share it.
Not that hard. Today we are talking a little bit of a little La Liga action. El Clasico was this weekend. We watched it together out on the Stoop, and it was an entertaining game to me as a neutral. And to be honest, I was there as a Premier League fan, watching some of our old Premier League assets. This guy who's over my shoulder. I know it's not cheating. We just there is a Barcelona version of him over here. Right. It's just not coming up on camera right now. But to see Aubameyang,
it's the version that's scoring.
I wanted to see Aubameyang play for one. But probably just as much, I wanted to see Adama Traore play. He only played for a little bit, but so here's a big thing with me, Alan. Before we get no. Let's start off with the game before I go into this deep dive of Aubameyang.
Sure.
But right away, tell me about the game. Why was this different? Why? Because Real Madrid is in first place.
Yep.
Like that's what everybody's saying online right now. Oh, you got the trophy for El Clasico. You got the silverware for El Clasico. But what does this game mean? It's El Clasico, first of all. But what does it mean right now for who you guys are as a club?
I think there's two ways to answer that. For the first way, it's always El Clasico. El Clasico is El Clasico. You don't need a reason to celebrate El Clasico. There is a photo circulating underneath these photos of Madrid fans asking why we were celebrating like this, where they celebrated a tie in 2016 when we won the league by like 12 points. And it was just, and they're celebrating with Cristiano there in his underwear. Everyone else has clothes on except for him. And
even when he doesn't play,
he'll find a way to get like he's changing between playing. But so it's just funny, and they used to give us issues for celebrating the Copa del Rey, but then there's photos of them on a bus doing a tour through downtown Madrid celebrating Copa del Rey. So whenever we win, it doesn't matter. When they win, it's the best thing ever, and that's what makes this an epic rivalry. But like that's the first layer. The second layer, what this means is that Real Madrid was coming off of a statement kind of win against PSG, 3-1, whatever, 3-2 in the Champions League. And I saw that game. And let me just say, nobody expected this result on Sunday, 4-0. But I saw that game, and I thought to myself, those teams are the same. They have a left winger who is fast. Real Madrid and PSG. Yeah. They have a pacey left winger, Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and they have they have a playmaking midfielder, Modric, Neymar, a number 10, Messi, trying to get the ball to them. The difference is that Real Madrid have a much better central striker in Karim Benzema than PSG have. They have literally just Mbappe, and because of how poor their midfield is, Messi has to drop deep and create, which is what he's had to do over the years at Barcelona. So when I saw this game, I wasn't really that impressed by either of them, even though I saw Madrid won. Now we have a situation where a lot of people, especially people in the greater news, are not watching every Barcelona game because they think, okay, they're bad, how good could they be? But we're winning. I watch every game, so we're winning. And having seen Barcelona over the years, we know when we look like we're good again. We know what Barcelona's supposed to play like. And we've been seeing this every week from Xavi. We beat Atletico 4-2, and they were like clearly superior to Manchester United.
Yeah, Atletico were bad that day.
They were bad, but they still won.
That was the first one that I think Aubameyang and Adama Traore started that game.
They did.
And he was fun.
He was fun. They both scored.
He's a monster running at children is what it looks like.
It's unbelievable. But I mean, the goals speak for themselves. Obama, I don't know, 7 or 8, whatever, in 9 games, and Traore has 6 assists. But
that's crazy.
It's crazy numbers.
That's crazy.
That's
numbers.
more than in a year at with the Wolves. So I think the first thing is, like, when you look at that game, I saw very one-dimensional Madrid. When you take Karim Benzema out because of the injury, now they have one attacking outlet. I don't even know who plays on the right for them. I think they put Valverde or something like that. I think he was a midfielder. And it was really just feed the ball to Vinicius. Well, we were watching with your friend, and he said, "Oh my God, your right back is out, Dest, who's been okay. He was finally getting good. American. He was getting good, and he injured his hamstring. So we put Araujo at right back. Araujo's our only good athletic defender. He's incredible. But a lot of people aren't watching Barcelona, so they don't see how good he is. And they think that I was very confident in his ability to lock down Vinicius. We saw from the game, he just pocketed him the whole time. I mean, Vinicius had like one or two good breaks in the beginning, first 5 minutes, and then we didn't even hear his name. Like, it was just running into a brick wall. You know what I mean? So I think my initial reaction, I was asked what my prediction was before the game, and I said 2-1. I was Barca. I was cautiously optimistic, but I did not see a 4-0. There's talk online of players that were watching like movies the night before, go out to restaurants the night before, Real Madrid players, because they were like, it's Barca without Messi.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of people weren't paying attention to Barcelona, and probably rightfully so. We were in the dumps.
Yeah, but the Real Madrid team they're paying attention to. They know what's going on.
It didn't look like it on Sunday. It looked like they had no idea that we were that good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they weren't expecting it.
In 2011, when we beat them 5-0, they knew we were that good. They just couldn't stop us.
Yeah.
In 2010, excuse me. But this looked like a team that had not, it looked like Carlo Ancelotti had not watched any Barcelona games. He was like, oh my God, like everything and what makes me say that is at halftime, the substitutions made it worse.
Yeah.
He isolated Vinicius even more. I forget who the other substitutions were. Asensio came on, and it was just like, these are substitutions that from a tactical perspective literally opened the game more in Barcelona's favor. I think if they had done what they did against PSG, they might have had a little bit more success, which was kind of play to the counter. Again, no Karim Benzema means that's harder. But their whole strategy of just feeding Vinicius the ball made them very one-dimensional and easy to predict. So I felt like why this was a big win for us, to answer the original question, is it showed that not only Xavi is actually a good coach, but it showed that Barcelona's latest results of 13 unbeaten games, of which 6 of those 13 we've scored 4 goals, is not a fluke, right? We scored 4 goals against Atletico Madrid. This is a bad Atletico Madrid side, but Diego Simeone still builds defensive monsters, right? To score 4 goals against him when they're tight like a clam is difficult.
Yeah.
But
once again, they were very bad.
They were very bad.
Properly shit
absolutely,
that day.
Absolutely. So I think the biggest shock, from a Barcelona fan perspective, is how quickly Xavi turned this team around, how well the signings fit in, and this will give us a chance to talk about your boy, my man, Aubameyang, because what goes around comes around.
Well, listen, I get so tired of hearing people, Arsenal fans, saying like, well, did you see what Aubameyang did over at Barcelona? Did you see how many goals he had? He has 87 goals in 4 matches. And see, Arteta was so wrong to get rid of him. And I'm like, it's not like he wasn't playing. It's not like he wasn't playing up front. It's not like he didn't try something different. Right. He had nearly 18 months doing what Aubameyang, okay, let's play up front for you. Let's play here. And yes, maybe the system is wrong for Aubameyang at Arteta, at Arsenal. Ooh. At Arteta. Yeah. But maybe the system wasn't correct for him. Yet he still missed sitters. He still missed easy shots.
I saw some.
We as Arsenal fans forgave him for months after months
and months. He missed what I would call a couple sitters on Sunday. He could have had a hat trick easy. He could have had 4 or 5 goals off of his shoe. Yeah. So
so that's what he was doing for us. Yet not bagging a brace.
Not bagging a brace.
And an assist. He was just not in it.
Yeah.
And so to me, this has been the best outcome for Arsenal, for Aubameyang, for Barcelona.
Absolutely. And I think you can look at that using other examples, right? Like when we got rid of Luis Suarez, everyone said, "Oh, you guys, are idiots. He scored 21 goals last season." But we who watched all the Barcelona games were all ready to get rid of him. We were ready to replace him with another number 9. The same thing we did when Eto'o left and we brought in David Villa. The same thing we did when David Villa left and we brought in Luis Suarez. We at Barcelona understand that you have to have an elite level 9 to play and for us to be good. We just need somebody to get on the ends of those chances because we have 6 midfielders who are going to pass all day and we need service. This will be the first reason why I think that maybe Aubameyang's better served at his team like Barca because he's getting better service. We have really good midfielders. Frankie de Jong was like amazing at Ajax. He brought them to a final. He's an incredible midfielder, technically gifted, Cruyff, kind of style player. And Pedri is my favorite young player in the world right now, and the Golden Ball winner, the new number 10 for Spain. I don't know if you saw that. They just announced that today. He is now the new number 10 for Spain at the World Cup. I mean, this is a kid at 19 who I think is as good as Iniesta was in his early years. No, Iniesta developed into one of the best. I mean,
the smarts,
the smarts and everything. His close ball control. I mean, he literally bossed Toni Kroos and Luka Modric around and cut off all the supply to Vinicius Jr., which is their game plan. Like I didn't even see Modric for like 60 minutes. I didn't see him.
He was playing defense.
He was playing defense. So they were like, I saw a really good graph.
Like a center back at one point.
I saw a really good graph that showed like heat maps of the Real Madrid players, and they look like a bunch of dots all stuck together. And Barcelona's is like they're separate and all in beautiful triangles. And so one of the things that Xavi's done is instilled structure, given the team so that they always have an outlet. But going back to Aubameyang, I think the one thing that serves him better at Barcelona is he has. I do think we have a better midfield than Arsenal. Yeah. You guys have some fantastic players. Martinelli, we watched that Liverpool guy. I love that kid. He's not a midfielder, but I mean, I think that the service he's getting from players like Pagey, from Frankie, even Busquets. I mean, Busquets put on a masterclass in El Clasico. SofaScore 8.0. I mean, if you're into those things, but he had a great job dictating the flow. But I also think, going back to why I mentioned Luis Suarez, when Luis Suarez left Barcelona, hell hath no fury like a person scorned, right? Like when you get told as a number 9, the most like flashy position in the sport, that you are not wanted anymore, that instills, I think, a chip on your shoulder. Yeah. And Luis Suarez went on a tear when he went to Atletico, when we got rid of him. But has anyone mentioned Luis Suarez this year? No, he doesn't even play. He doesn't even start because he is and was in fact washed. But he went like ape shit for a little while. And all of his goals last year, I think 20 of his 25 or maybe 16 of his 25 came in the first half of the season. After that, he kind of reverted to the player he was at Barcelona before we got rid of him. Yeah. So my point is this. I don't know if Aubameyang is going to score. If he's next year, he's going to score 30 goals. I think that he is an amazing short-term solution. I think with the chip, a player like that who's hungry to prove doubters wrong. He tweeted today, his little Super Saiyan celebration and hello from the finished player, right? So I think it's clear he was told that he wasn't wanted. He felt unwanted. He was told that he was,
Listen, when we got Aubameyang from Dortmund, we were buying the finished player.
Exactly.
He was coming to flourish as the finished player. You've done the dirty work. You've figured out your game. You've played with some decent to really good people. He was with Dembele.
He was at Dembele,
but he's with the entire Dortmund squad. But that's who we thought we were getting. Yeah. So don't give me this finished player. Well,
no, I don't think he was a finished player. I'm just saying the narrative. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's what he's saying.
The narrative seems to have been brought up around him that he was finished, and I think that's fuel to him. The same way that Luis Suarez was told in a 2-minute phone call. That's disrespectful. Now that being said,
he is taking his chance. He's putting his head on goal. The thing is, as we said, he's still missing opportunities. You guys have become that deadly of an attack right now. Because of your midfield play is allowing those chances, those crosses to be put in the box, the fast breaks, and you guys seem to be attacking as a big unit.
Exactly. What we didn't have last year was we didn't have a healthy Dembele. We didn't have Traoré, who are fast and Dembele ate Nacho alive on the right, and then he
ate nachos.
He ate nachos and. On the left-hand side, Ferran Torres was giving Dani Carvajal a nightmare with his movement. Now, people say, off-the-ball movement, who cares? But you got to go back and watch that game and see what... Ferran Torres was the second highest-rated player behind Aubameyang on the SofaScore ratings last night, and duly so in my opinion, because he obviously scored a goal, but the way that these two kind of Barcelona plays this kind of 4-3-3 that converts into a 3-4-3 where Eric, or Busquets will drop back, like a central defensive pivot will drop back, but with two center backs, the full backs are going up, but instead of Jordi Alba providing width, which is what he's been doing the last few years, now that he's a little older, a little slower, we now have Ferran Torres who can go in and kind of stretch the defenders. And if you look at the first goal, it was Dembele burning Nacho and then crossing the ball to Aubameyang, who headed it in. There was so much space between Militao and Alaba that you could have, or I could have scored that goal. Do you know what I'm saying? Probably not. I would have sprained my ankle. No. But it was just knees. The amount of the team is functioning better, but Aubameyang is doing a good job to get on the end of it. But to your point, he definitely felt like he does miss some sitters. And that's something that as a Barcelona fan you get used to. You're like, dude, if we just, some teams, they get one chance. This is why, the counterattacking teams blow me away. They get one shot and they score. Mm-hmm. Peak Simeone was nothing, counterattack score, nothing. Or the Italian teams from the 90s and 2000s, right? Yep. Those guys would defend, boom, slam you, and then defend for 90 minutes. We couldn't defend for 90 minutes of our life depended on it. Our defense is having the ball, which is what we did. We don't know how to defend. Yeah. That's why you saw Xavi yelling at people. The minute we lose the ball, Barcelona fans are oh my God, they're going to score. I don't that one where Vinicius took a dive. Yeah. I thought he was going to score. I was if there's a one-on-one with Ter Statue, this is what we've been calling him because he's just
clean.
He played a good game and a clean sheet, but he sometimes just does not.
Yeah. Well, I think not having Karim Benzema, we saw in how quickly he can affect a game in the PSG match. Where he's just somebody who, talk about taking your chances. He seems like if he's in front of goal, he's gonna score. He picks his spots so well, but he heads the ball. He's strong. He's fast. I thought he was done years ago.
I thought he was done too. Then I saw that he has 79 Champions League goals, 0 penalties because Ronaldo took all the penalties.
Wow,
which blew me away. That is elite. So I have given more respect to Karim Benzema over the years.
You got to be thinking. He's pissed off that he was left out of the France squad.
Let's be honest. Yeah, exactly. That there's another question. Giroud,
how do you leave him out of the France squad? And then he showed it. We were talking earlier this season, at the beginning of the season, a few months in, I guess, about most informed player in the world right now, and we were all Mo Salah. And yes, but Benzema always came up.
He did.
Because he was I think he actually had more goals than Salah at the time. He was on that crazy tear of just scoring.
He's a great
goals.
Finisher, man. He's...
So without him, you see that moment of magic is far less likely to happen.
It makes Real Madrid a very predictable team. And having seen the way they played in previous games, which I do watch, here's the other thing. They weren't dominating teams in the league. They were getting a lot of late goals. They were down 1-0, 1-0, they were tied 1-1. Yeah. They have 12 points on us, of course, but they were getting so many late goals. Yeah. It wasn't 3-4. It's not like Liverpool who's just destroying people or Man City and you're oh yeah, this game is over before it started. There's a lot of games where they were losing or tied and they would come out with a late winner from Benzema or Vinicius Jr. And so I don't yes, of course they miss Benzema, but I actually don't think Benzema doesn't give you 4-0 to winning that game. You know what I mean? Their defense was horrible. Well, there was we were scoring 4 goals whether Benzema or prime Messi was out there because that defense was terrible and could not cope with us.
And once again, you guys should have honestly
should have had 5 or 6. I know, exactly. Probably. That game could have been a 5 or 6-0. We were actually pissed that we didn't get the extra one because La Manita is a Spanish thing. When you score 5 goals, it's the little hand in Spanish because it's it's a 5.
So look, let me ask you then: Are Barcelona back? Are you actually back, or are you still like? I know Arsenal fans were very hesitant to say we're back. Arsenal's back.
Yeah.
But we're starting to see some fruit from this long process that we've all been told to trust.
Yeah.
And you guys with Xavi have just come in, and he just flipped it, and it was almost more out of necessity.
Yep.
Where
when
okay,
you're at rock
these
bottom
guys
and
are
you have
gone.
nothing. Yeah, exactly.
We're terrible right now.
We're terrible.
Fix us.
Exactly.
We'll give you zero money.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. One wonders what Alemani, who's our technical director, could have done with the Neymar money. I mean, we went from having the worst president ever, who blew like just horrible contracts. That's why all of our players, our salary bill was so high, and Messi ultimately couldn't stay, is because he would just give The problem wasn't Messi, right? The problem was Messi would get a renewal, and Alba, Piqué, all these guys, Samuel Umtiti, whose knee was destroyed and still got like 20 million a year, like euros, like what the fuck, so I think the problem when you get rid of that guy and then you have an actual president come in, one thing that actually helps us is that everyone knows we were kind of broke. So Aubameyangs of the world who need a second chance, hey, free transfer, come in. We just signed Kessie today from AC Milan. Like, jeez, I could go on about that transfer. I don't know why we signed a midfielder, but I trust Xavi at this point. That's going to be my ultimate point. It's like, right now, you're asking, are we back? I was questionable about Aubameyang. I looked at his highlights when they talked about him. I've looked at Christensen's highlights, who were signing from Chelsea. I looked at Traoré. Traoré was actually the one that made the most sense. We had nobody with pace and width on the right, and even though
and he's such a different player,
he's such a different profile that, like, what you were saying when we were watching the game, I think you called it, where we were like, oh, they still have Traoré, and sure enough, he went in at like the 90th minute when the left back is gassed, and he just runs circles around.
Well, I've been screaming to Mark's team, Wolves, when they had him. It was like Adama Traoré needs to not start. He needs to come on in the 60th, 70th minute and just run at people.
Exactly.
Because they're gassed, and they can't catch him
at
minute
catch
one.
Him. He's one-dimensional.
But at minute 70,
exactly.
You forced their manager to make a change.
Exactly, but that's what a sub is supposed to do. Yeah. Like, you have starters who, like...
Otherwise, he burns out. And you know what? Aubameyang actually killed it for us for a while when... it was... A while ago, but he was coming off the bench.
That's like what
Lacazette would play, and then he would come off, and he would come on and score.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because he's fresh and he's got the new moves and the tricks, and he's just faster and sharper.
It's a different profile to be a super sub, you know, to be that kind of guy who can come in off the bench and stretch, like Jesus Navas for Spain in 2010 World Cup. Genius substitution. When they put him in against the Netherlands in a game that goes extra time, you remember Jesus Navas. Jesus Navas is a pure right winger. His substitution is what opened up the space to allow Iniesta to score that goal. And I don't
remember shit that clearly.
It's a knock-on effect. It's the greatest moment ever. But it's a knock-on effect that wingers make great substitutes, because they can come in and they're usually like playing at center backs and left backs who, God, every left back now in the game is like attacking and defending. And if you're playing a team like an Arsenal, where TAA's defending is a little bit suspect, a guy like Traoré, I would actually love to see Barcelona play Liverpool right now. I think they would beat us. Of course, they're the best team in the. I think that. But I think we would actually score 2 or 3 goals on them.
These signings, and even Effin Torres, which is what he shall be referred to until he impresses me. Effin Torres, Ferran Torres, but the addition of him, Aubameyang, and Adama Traoré have been just magical. I've sat Memphis Depay on the bench, by the way, he's back and he's brilliant in the Euros, and then I don't know.
He doesn't. I like Depay, but I just think that Aubameyang has a better. He does have intelligent movement. You have to run, like, I've seen some graphs, of Pedri moving like this in the game to drag. I forget who it was. Maybe Valverde, but in Barcelona, Thierry Henry is famous for saying that when he moved to Barcelona from Arsenal, he's like, I've never run so much and not getting the ball. Obviously, he was the man at Arsenal, so people had to feed him the ball, but in Barcelona, you will run, because what Barcelona plays is not tiki-taka. That's not our style. Tiki-taka is just needlessly passing the ball. Barcelona is about positional play. It's not possession just to possess the ball. Yes, there's this belief in Barcelona that if the team doesn't have the ball, the other team doesn't have the ball, they can't score. But the point of possession is creating superiorities through positional play, which involves moving players out of position, right? So if you notice that somebody's man marking, if you notice that the right back is man marking your left winger, your left winger is going to start inverting, cutting in, which is what Messi would do, right? Frank Rijkaard switched Messi from being on the left to the right so that instead of crossing the ball, he could curl shots on goal. And if you have someone who can dribble with pace and cut in, then he just starts dragging all these defenders out of position. Then you're creating superiorities on the field. We were talking during the game where there was all these passes going on over here, and then the next thing you know, it's a switch. And it was like Ferran Torres, boom. And
and that's what Traore's been doing. You see, like, he's just standing here, and the guy who's supposed to be on him is right next to him, and then the passing keeps going, and you just see him getting further and further, like, wanting to get on the action, and Traore just doesn't move. He just stands there.
And that's what he's been given. Those instructions he's been given are stay there, because if his defender moves up to engage somebody who's approaching, then they just lay it off to
chip it over the top.
Exactly, lay it off to Traore, and then
man.
These wingers that we have are actually pinning back defenders and creating a shitload of space in the middle of the park, where people like Pedri, who are used to, and Frankie de Jong is at his best when he's got the ball at his feet and can dribble. Not just, he can do one-touch passing, but that's not the role he had at Ajax. He can dribble, he can pass it off to Pedri, he can hit Dembele on the wings, he can hit Ferran Torres on the wings, and next thing you know, I mean, just watching the highlights, that's just a masterclass on using your people who off the ball movement to manipulate the other team and move them out of position, and then boom, you attack the side where there's nobody, and they couldn't cope, right? They just couldn't. At the end of the day, even if we didn't use a creative superiority, if it's just one-on-one, Nacho is not stopping Dembele, right? Yeah. Carvajal is not stopping Ferran Torres, and oh, by the way, when they're tied up with that, Alaba had a horrible game. Militao had a horrible game. And so Aubameyang is just, he should have had 3 or 4 goals last night, Sunday.
5.
Maybe 5, right?
Really. Anyway, well, it's been good talking to you. Is there anything
let me answer the question of, is Barca back? Because we got
okay, there you go.
Let's answer that, and then we'll time out. I think that a new era has started with Xavi. I think that with once we start getting some more sponsorship money, we got the Spotify money for 280 million euros. We're going to sell the Barca Studios, which is our like TV stuff. And I think once we rename the stadium, the Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, McDonald's, Burger King, Camp Nou,
on the stupid Lolo,
presented by iTunes. Then we can.
I'll send my $40 if it gets our name on it.
Hey, I got my streams on repeat just to do my part, put money in Spotify's bank. I think that he can clearly coach. I think with a full transfer window, if we get some good players, like, obviously everyone wants Erling Haaland. And Erling Haaland came out and said he's not motivated by salary so much as the city, which we know Barcelona is much lovelier than Manchester and Madrid.
No, but he's going to a project.
He's looking for a project, exactly.
That sounds like Arsenal to me.
That's I would say that is Barcelona back?
Erling Haaland, you complete me. Come on over.
Is Barcelona back? We're on the way, but we're trending in the right direction. I don't think Real Madrid is trending in the right direction. They look lost. I think they've lost, I think
they lose to Chelsea.
I think they'll absolutely lose to Chelsea. And I think the questions now become Xavi has set the foundation. I think it's clear he can coach, and I think that in a year or two we will be competing for the Champions League. We're going to finish top 4. Pedri is unbelievable. The players we have are unbelievable. We need to lock down Araujo, Gavi, but like our 17-year-olds are like Gavi and Pedri literally retired Thiago from the midfield, in Spain.
So
we'll see.
It's something to be said about, you guys may not have a ton of money and be able to pay people right now, but these players are going to get the opportunity to come in and be like there's finally less of a shadow of the 2010s, the Messi high Messi era, even back to Ronaldinho, as what Barcelona is, and being overshadowed by them. It's kind of been like, okay, clean slate. Can you be this new generation that fixes Barcelona? And brings them back. And
by the way, we don't even have our best player, who's Ansu Fati. He's been injured for 3 months, and he is better.
But I'm saying, like, you're more likely to keep these youngsters than have them being taken away with money.
Exactly.
Because because of what the club is and because they have an opportunity to go down in history.
Well, the problem with
and
Barcelona,
not just play at Barcelona for a few years and then go get some money.
The problem with Barcelona, and then I'll wrap up, is when you play with three people in the midfield, one of them has to be a defensive midfielder. You really have two spots for the number 8.
Yeah.
This is why players like Thiago and Cesc Fabregas left, because the last from 2006 to 2017, that position is occupied by Xavi and Iniesta, literally two of the best midfielders of all time. Yeah. So everyone who comes out of La Masia, our youth squad, they have to leave. Yeah. We have this other kid, Alex Collado, who's amazing. We have so many good young midfielders, and we don't even know who to start now. Pedri, Gavi, Frankie de Jong, because Busquets is stuck at number 6. Like, we don't have anyone that has that profile as a true number 6 single pivot. So we have 3 number 8s. And now we bought Kessie, which I actually still don't fully understand. I mean, I watched some of his clips at Milan. He can play in a double pivot. I guess I don't know why he did, but I trust Xavi. But
that's too much Barcelona talk, and so I'm done with this. I'm done with talking about Barcelona. We didn't talk about Arsenal enough.
You all might be done talking about it, but we're here. We're back.
Well, let me know what you guys think about Alan and Barcelona, and we'll see. Maybe we'll do some more La Liga videos here. And Mo Master, I know you want us to do a Real Madrid episode, but Najee didn't want to talk about it the other day, so
I'll talk about Real Madrid. If I get some toilet paper, I'm happy to talk about them. Let me just find some toilet paper.
All right, guys, but thank you guys for watching, and click the like, share, subscribe, all those good things, and you can go to our website on thestupidlolo.com and stay in touch with all of us, get in the discussion groups there, and buy some merchandise if you like. All right, so peace from Brooklyn.
Peace from Brooklyn.
Peace.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good job, man.
Peace out.
See ya.